Okay, what's up everybody? Pastor Matt here. Today I'm looking at the Thomas Nelson New King James Version large print Thinline reference Bible in the Premier Collection by Thomas Nelson. Now, before I get into the Bible here, I wanted to just simply mention that I was traveling recently. I was speaking for the Westminster Society, of which this is our mug, and we do some pretty cool stuff with academics and scholarship. Anyways, I was traveling on the airplane to Jackson, Mississippi, and I noticed how many people had support animals these days. And I thought to myself, my goodness, that's so cool to have these emotional support animals, dogs or cats, or in some cases even stranger animals than that, believe it or not. But I thought to myself, man, if somebody had one of these Premier Collection New King Jameses in the goat skin, this could probably be their emotional support. And I mean that in the most positive way, that this is an awesome Bible. It is so soft and beautiful and wonderful. If you grew up in your childhood and had a favorite blankie, one that you hugged and snuggled and brought with you everywhere so that it was all ratted and tatted by the end of the childhood, man, this Bible is so soft and gorgeous that it could almost be your special blankie or your emotional support Bible. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this Bible today here. Now, first I want to mention the price of this is listed at $149, but I got this one for far less than that on Amazon.com. Far less. I don't know what the price is today, but when I got it during the Christmas season, it was much, much less, and I think it was at a reduced rate because these Premier Collection Bibles just came out, and Thomas Nelson was trying to get them known amongst the Bible collecting community. Okay, so let's go ahead and open it up. It comes in this nice box, and look at this. As you might suspect, with a Premier Collection Bible edition, it does come in this nice paper with this beautiful seal, which I've already opened, of course, before. It comes wrapped in this nice paper, which you're probably going to do what I'm going to do and throw that paper away. But here is the Bible itself. It is goat skin, and let me read some of the features to you on the back of the box. It's Smith sewn, it's edge-lined goat skin, it's art gilded on the page edges. It has 36 GSM paper, so that's some very, very excellent Bible paper. The font is 11 points, so that's going to be a very substantial font for you. And just when I feel this Bible, now I know I've said this before, and just smack me because I repeat myself, this is the new best feeling goatskin I've ever seen in my entire life. The new best, and I don't say that lightly, because I don't have many other Thomas Nelson Bibles. I've done a lot of Crossway stuff, and they're good friends to this page, this YouTube channel. I've done a lot of Cambridge stuff, but I'm not kidding you, folks. This is the best goatskin I've ever felt in my entire life, both on the outer cover and on the inner liner. It is an edge-lined Bible, and it is absolutely gorgeous in every possible way. Thomas Nelson crushed it with this Bible, and I've seen other reviews online, and people have called this the Omega, what do they call it? The Omega Beater or the Omega Destroyer or something like that. Man, yes, this Bible is simply fantastic. Now, as I open it up to an average page here, let's just notice that this Bible is, again, in a fairly large print. It's 11-point font. It has 2 columns. It has our reference suite at the bottom with red verse and chapter numbers. So the main chapter is going to be marked in red, as with the subtitle right here. The verse numbers in the text are black, but down here the reference suite is coded in red so that you can find things quite easily when you are searching for them. The paper is gorgeous. There's very little see-through in the white or blank spaces, and the page edging here is gilded in a light pink, not very strong, but a light pink or salmon-like color. You have a gold gilt edge around the inner liner of the Bible itself, and as I mentioned before, some of the best Bible leather, goatskin leather that I've ever seen in my whole life, and I'm not even exaggerating here. So this is a fantastic Bible. Now let me say a few things about the King James Version, because for some of you maybe it's a no-brainer. For others of you, you're not so sure. What's great about the New King James Version, I should say? Well, if you're familiar with the Old King James, then maybe that's your top translation. But if you are, the New King James fits wonderfully within that tradition. It's going to sound very, very familiar to you as you read the Bible. If you've grown up on the King James, of course, the New King James is going to sound extraordinarily familiar to you because the New King James is the lightest revision of the King James amongst the better known translations of the Bible. So New King James, extremely close to the King James. What's the difference? Well, the New King James has lightly revised some of the old style language. So of course the these and the thous have been updated to the yous and the yours. But there's also some lighter revisions as well. For instance, when the King James says something like, I wot not, W-O-T, or do you not wot, W-O-T, to know, K-N-O-W is the word, but we don't say I wot not or I don't know anymore. We just say I don't know. And so the New King James would revise that to a more fluid English expression. So also with words like peradventure, which if you know what that word means, why don't you say so in the comments? Prove that you know it. What does peradventure mean? The King James uses it all the time. Well, the New King James has updated that word to a more modern word. And let's just test you to see if you know what that word means. Now, about the manuscripts. The New King James is interesting to me, and even more interesting as I continue to study these things about translations and manuscripts and all that. The New King James, like the King James, is translated from the Textus Receptus manuscripts. Okay, so not the critical text that's used in translations like the ESV or the NASB. Those are modern, critical, scholarly editions that use both Byzantine and Alexandrian manuscript text types with preference to the Alexandrian, which in some cases are the older manuscripts, all right? So that's why the scholarly world gives them preference. Well, the TR, or the Textus Receptus, gives preference to the Byzantine manuscripts, which are more geographically spread, as well as being the majority text in most occasions. So what do I mean by the majority text? Well, if the manuscripts differ in fine places or different points, usually very small words or expressions, the majority text would be the numerical majority reading of the manuscripts. And so there's some who favor the majority text as over against the older texts like the Alexandrian. So what's interesting about the New King James is that it probably does the best of any translation of noting those differences in the very footnotes of the translation itself, which I really, really appreciate. Now the ESV does that too to some extent, but the New King James does just especially well at noting differences in the footnotes between the critical text and the TR, the Textus Receptus, or the majority text. And in some cases, the majority is not the TR, but most of the time it is. Okay, so reasons why you might want a New King James version in your collection of Bibles includes its fidelity to the King James tradition, its use of majority text manuscripts, it's easier reading in such phrases as the these and the thous, and for the amazing text notes that it has in the translation itself. So this Bible does have a very excellent reference suite, and as you can see, each page is laid out very nicely with nice, thick, very white paper. Okay, so again, this Bible, super, super high quality. Get this as your emotional comfort Bible. You will love snuggling up with this thing on the couch. You will probably read it for hours. The goat skin is incredibly soft, as I mentioned. And oh, by the way, one more thing. The Comfort Print font was especially designed for the New King James Version in these Thomas Nelson Premier Quality Bibles. So that's just kind of cool as well. There's a series of videos on how they designed the fonts for each of their new releases that are coming out this year, and I just think that's kind of cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you, as always, is I will put this exact Bible in a link in the description of this video so you can hop over to Amazon and get this very exact Bible yourself. Now, I don't know if you're going to get the price that I got it for. I got it for a steal around Christmas time, a steal. Charges are probably pending for what I got this thing for. But what a great investment. And if you like the New King James or you need a New King James in your Bible collection, this is the one. All right, so hop down to the description of this video, grab it through the link over to Amazon, get it, and I will chat at you later. Thanks.